Well, according to SSB, it has an investment record of $130 million for 2023, and this has boosted local and international markets. Prison term extended for a convicted sex offender. And in the South, we witnessed the official launch of the Coastal Project, a $4 million U.S. initiative aimed at bolstering climate resilience across 27 coastal communities, including Corozal. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Thursday, May 7th, 2026.
When speed matters, every second counts. Get ahead with ExpressNet. Fast, reliable, ready when you are.
From Belize to Mexico, the journey of football's greatest moments will unite nations. Mexico, the only country to host the World Cup 3 times, 1970, 1986, and now in 2026, you can be a part of the game with Centaur. We're sending you and a friend to experience the opening of the World Cup firsthand. 2 tickets, flights, 3-night stay, and daily cash. One incredible opportunity. How to enter? Sign up for one of our new Express Plus bundles. Remember, faster speeds mean more entries. Existing customers, keep your account at 0 balance or pay in advance to be eligible. Plus, engage with us on social media for even more chances to win. The 2026 World Cup in Mexico awaits. Don't just watch, be part of it and score big with Centaur.
From whiskeys and wines to elegantly crafted cocktails. Paired with charcuterie boards and perfectly seasoned steak bites, and much more. Perfect for celebrations, quiet nights, and every special occasion in between. 7 Notes Wine and Spirits, where every sip hits the right note.
ExpressNet now has up to 400 megabytes of high-speed internet. Choose the speed that fits you, from faster browsing to faster gaming. Connect more devices at once, or bundle it with Express Plus and HBO Max. Internet and streaming entertainment, all in one.
Yeah, faster starts here.
Sign up today at any Centaur office or contact us to get started.
My name is Dr. Rosita Jimenez, and I'm a general laparoscopic surgeon. We have just finished an emergency appendectomy, and we're now moving on to our second operating theater for our laparoscopic gallbladder screening. Basically, this is very easy to diagnose. Simple abdominal ultrasound or a pan-abdominal ultrasound can give us the diagnosis. Laparoscopic gallbladder removal surgeries, 90 to 80% of the time, are done due to gallstones. However, there are other conditions like tumors, malfunctioning of the gallbladder that also are reasons to get a laparoscopic surgery. We also have an amazing CT scan and X-ray unit who work hand in hand with our doctors. Instruments used in laparoscopic surgery are chokers like these. It makes it easy for us to do the surgery through these entry ports. The recovery process is excellent. Basically, within a week, you are back up, ready to do your job, your daily life activity, like if you hadn't had this surgery.
The Orange Walk Town Council is inviting applications from suitably qualified and motivated individuals to fill 5 garbage fee collector positions within our revenue department. Minimum requirements: high school diploma, friendly and people-oriented personality, tech-savvy, must own reliable transportation, preferably a motorcycle, honest and dependable. Interested applicants are asked to submit the following documents: application letter, copy of high school diploma, valid social security card, 2 character references. Applications must be submitted in person to the Orange Walk Town Council office by February 20th, 2026. Join our team and contribute to keeping Orange Walk clean and organized.
The haters might think the Rebels have run out of steam, but the mighty Green Machine has more than enough to keep running this league. Your running Rebels are focused on trampling the competition, and next up to get ran over are some Trojans. And there's nothing that can protect them because the Rebels are stronger than ever. Friday, May 8th is the date for another epic clash featuring the hometown heroes, the Pelican Orange Walk Running Rebels and the Belmopan Trojans inside the Orange Walk Multi-Purpose Complex. Gates open at 7 p.m. Tip-off at 9 p.m. Rebels Nation, let's remind this league just how powerful we are. We are Rebel Nation, yeah. Orange Walk to the bone. Sponsors are Pelican, Arm & Hammer, ASR, BSI, Verificadora La Popular, Premier Duty Free, Neo People, German Vega & Sons, Orange Walk Town Council, Capital Point Imports, SP Group Limited, Softtech Communications, Total Tools Belize, Racina's Imports, Atlantic Bank, ICB, Mechas, Old River Bar and Grill, Honorable John Briseño, Lebanon Riverside Retreat, Bats Landing, High Five Nightclub, Ridgeline, Caribbean Tire.
Good evening with your news also simulcast on Face FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. A police officer and convicted sex offender, Brigilio Ack, has seen his prison term extended from 8 months to 18 months following an appeal against his initial conviction for sexually assaulting a female colleague. Ack, age 40, was originally found guilty on August 15, 2025, by a senior magistrate who determined that he had sexually assaulted his fellow officer during a duty patrol in March 2023. The court heard that Ack inappropriately touched the woman's breasts and kissed her neck without her consent. Following his conviction, Ack challenged both the verdict and the sentence. While his appeal against the conviction was dismissed, the High Court took a different stance on this sentencing, ruling that the punishment should be more severe. Justice Nigel Pilgrim resentenced Ack to 18 months in prison, emphasizing the gravity of the offense, the breach of trust involved, and the psychological impact on the victim. After accounting for 98 days spent in pre-trial detention, Ack is expected to serve a remaining term of 1 year, 2 months, and 24 days, with the new sentence effective from March 10, 2026. The court also mandated that Ack undergo compulsory counseling and receive psychiatric or medical treatment suitable for sex offenders while incarcerated at the Belize Central Prison. Upon release, he is required to register as a sex offender and inform both the police commissioner and the Ministry of Human Development before any change of residence. Justice Pilgrim characterized the harm inflicted on the victim as Category 2 high, noting her visible distress, trembling, stress, shock, and praying for morning to arrive during the attack. The judge further classified Ack's conduct as Level A, high culpability, citing his abuse of authority and repeated unwelcome sexual advances during their shift together. In delivering his ruling, Justice Pilgrim underscored the importance of safeguarding women's rights and dignity in the workplace, affirming that a custodial sentence was necessary to serve the public interest. Every working Belizean contributes to the country's social security system, and now the Social Security Board is shedding light on how those contributions are being invested. During a media mixer hosted today in Belize City, officials from the Social Security Board shared how the institution has invested approximately $130 million since January, marking the largest amount deployed in a single year in the organization's history. A major portion of those investments went into shares and bonds in Hydro Belize, the energy company that supplies all of its electricity to Belize Electricity Limited. General Manager of Finance and Investment at the Social Security Board, Leo Vasquez, explained that the investments are expected to provide long-term financial returns for the fund while also supporting key sectors of the national economy. Vasquez noted that the shares component alone is projected to generate approximately $4 million annually in dividends. He added that the investments form part of the board's broader strategy to strengthen the sustainability and growth of the Social Security Fund for contributors and future beneficiaries.
A debenture must, whether it's a shares investment or a debenture, must go through analysis. Talk about credit score. We must look at balance sheet, income statement, cash flows, projections. So before it goes to the CEO, goes to the investment committee, gets approved by the board, must go through that disciplined approach. Again, we want to reduce our risk. Everything in life is a risk, but in terms of our investments, we have to go through the approach before we even present it to the investment committee. And of course, investments aligned with national development speaks more to investments in BEL, BWS, BTL, and of course now I will talk on the hydro as we go on in this investment. So, just as a quick snapshot, at the end of 2025, you will see when we present our financial statements, our gross investment portfolio was about 525. So come from January 1 to April 30th, we have now invested an additional $130 million for 2026 alone. We have never done that number in any year. Two big drivers. The Hydro Belize equity is really our shares investment. We have invested $1.4 million in Hydro Belize shares, and we have invested $42.5 million at 6% in Hydro Belize bonds. Term investments are really from three fronts: $10 million in Atlantic, $10 million in Heritage, and National Bank. We just put $15 million at 4%. A BL debentures is 7.1. I think that's a 6%. And DOC, well, that's an approved loan, but the disbursement happened recently. So, $130 million on top of the 525. Okay, well, let's speak to. This is a strategic one. This is the energy generation, national energy sector, which is new for us, but presenting an opportunity. Remember, Hydro Belize was a fortress. They came out of the market, presented an opportunity for us where where energy is the source, not the distributor, because we're in BEL, but this is when Hydro Belize funds 100% or supplies 100% of its energy to BEL. So that $40 million 1.4 million shares investment will give us 30% for 2 seats on the board. And of course, then the 42.5 is a 6% year-on-year return, and then we get the 42.5 million back at the end of the 20 years. Unlike the shares investment, well, we expect that because we expect that to earn about $4 million per year in terms of dividends, and we plan to keep that for a lot longer than 20 years.
The Social Security Board also revealed that its total investments within the local market have now reached $654 million. While the focus has traditionally remained on domestic opportunities, officials say the board is now also exploring international markets as part of efforts to diversify its investment portfolio.
We have seen is a great adaptation. So we've gone mandatory at the end of last year, and what we have now seen is more people are comfortable with it. People who are not then comfortable at home doing it, we do offer self-service kiosks and assistance in our office so people can come in, walk in, come to our office and get the support for them to actually get it done. More people have become accustomed to it, so it's become a lot easier. It is more convenient for them, obviously, because it means they can do that wherever they are at. Because of the process is.
The Social Security Board is continuing its push towards modernization with the introduction of a fully digital claims filing system aimed at improving efficiency and reducing delays for beneficiaries. Officials from the Social Security Board shared details on the new system today, explaining that the digital platform is designed to streamline the claims process by allowing documents and applications to be submitted electronically rather than through traditional paper-based methods. According to the SSB, the move is expected to significantly reduce bottlenecks within the system while making the process faster and more convenient for contributors, employers, and staff alike. The digital transition is also intended to improve record management, speed up processing times, and minimize errors associated with manual filing.
We have seen is a great adaptation. So we've gone mandatory at the end of last year, and what we have now seen is more people are comfortable with it. People who are not then comfortable at home doing it, we do offer self-service kiosks and assistance in our office so people can come in, walk in, come to our office and get the support for them to actually get it done. More people have become accustomed to it, so it's become a lot easier. It is more convenient for them, obviously, because it means they can do that wherever they are at. Because of the process is automated, once all the parameters are checked and people meet the benefits, then the system automatically generates the claim benefit payments. So it has led to additional efficiencies from our end.
Okay, and then can you just speak to, the proposed reforms, how it will impact employees and employers, what are the overall goals of the Security Board, and just a message you'd like to give to the public regarding these changes?
Well, the proposed reforms are just a couple that we began with because these are structural shifts. We worked in a system that basically fixed for 13 different benefits. And we recognize where, because of how work has changed on administrative system technology, where we had to make a structural shift in that way. So we're working towards that. But we're mindful that these are initial proposals we put forward, and we want to go through consultation with additional things. So we're working on reforms that will impact the ceiling, that will impact pension payments, calculations, pension in payments. Those are all things that we are looking at right now to see if we can actually improve on. I think I've said before, when you develop a scheme in 1981, it was developed for an environment at that time, an environment that may not have considered the way people work, how work is actually being done today. We have to make some shifts now. We have to adopt technology in a way that can allow us to do that. The reform proposals now will allow us to do that. It would allow us to make a structural shift, allow us to move to what other countries are effectively doing for quite some time, and then put us in a position where the scheme becomes more dynamic. So when we start to look at increased ceilings, it becomes a more easier shift for us to be able to do.
Officials say the new digital claims platform will help the institution operate more efficiently while ensuring quicker turnaround times for individuals filing claims. The halls of Muffles College High School were filled with pride and excitement this week as the school's robotics team returned home from Houston, Texas, after representing Belize at the prestigious first 2026 championship under the first Lego League competition. Competing against some of the brightest young minds from across the globe, the MCHS Bobcats proudly showcased not only their skills in robotics and programming, but also Belizean culture and innovation on the world stage. The school shared that while winning was not the ultimate goal, the experience itself was invaluable for the students. Principal Margie Johnson says the experience was a proud moment for the institution and highlighted the importance of exposing students to opportunities in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, better known as STEM.
Yes, good morning. We participated in the first Lego League Challenge in the first Worlds 2026. Now it sounds a little bit confusing, but FIRST stands for Inspiration and Recognition in Science and Technology. And they have 3 categories, and we participated in FLL, which is known as the first Lego League. And that participation had that competition had 160 participants from all around the world, right? And the one who took the top prize was a team from Spain. So, of course, we did not qualify in the top 3 or anything like that, but the experience is what is important for us to be able to bring back to Belize and to share with the other schools who compete in this, who participate in this competition at the national level. To begin with, it was intimidating because we are there with 42,000 participants. So that was mind-blowing to begin with, but as the days progressed, I think the students felt very comfortable, so much so that when they were judged orally, they did a magnificent presentation, flawless. It was flawless. Of course, they had all the nerves, you know, they were nervous about it. But in the end, the teachers, myself, we were very proud of our students. We can compete in the world stage. Right. STEM is here to stay. Robotics is here to stay. So we will continue our involvement in STEM. And as we learned, as you build a robot, it's not the humans building the robot, but the robot being built is what builds the human, because you have to work as a team. So part of the experience was not just getting involved in building the robot, but what is it that we learn as the people building that robot, that teamwork that is important, the professionalism that the students need to exhibit among each other, you know, and that camaraderie that is as a result of building the robot. So in the end, it's not necessarily the robot that's important, right? But the person's development as well.
The students' project centered on Belize's rich Maya heritage, combining culture with technology in a way that captured the attention of other teams and judges alike.
Our innovation project was inspired by our Mayan heritage and our cultural preservation, because we know that Belize is a very cultural rooted country. So that is our innovation project. Its name is, we made it authentic and unique to Belize. So we named it Akachi, which translates to the seeker in Yucatec Mayan. And they'll follow up on the rest.
So the problem that we found in Belize is that we lack an affordable technology to identify these Mayan artifacts and Mayan sites.
So hence the reason our proposed solution was this infrared and ultrasonic scanner, which would let you know if something is buried underneath, so that when you are constructing or just searching for artifacts or Mayan temples or such, you will be able to find them and then proceed with caution to excavate or make sure that you don't tamper with that. So this was our project, this was how we came up with it, and we're honestly really proud to give back to our community in one way or another.
For the boys of the team, they were responsible for programming the robot and ensuring it successfully completed the technical challenges during the competition. They described the experience as intense but rewarding, especially for the younger members of the team.
I part in this competition was the coding, robot building, and also doing the missions itself. So I'm in charge and overseeing the whole operation when it comes to that. So, and also I'm also in charge to make sure the freshmen and other people, because there were other students who was trying to learn while we were doing coding and everything, to make sure they have the experience and they learn. So when I leave as a senior, so they could actually be the future in this robotics and all competitions in general.
This is my first year, so it's more of a learning experience. So I was his assistant and helping with the missions and swapping the attachments to get a fast and easy time so we can compete with the bigger countries.
In charge of the robot design and building the robot on how it completed the challenges, because the competition is about completing these challenges using autonomous robot, and that is what me and another group member who's not here, Aiden Logan, were in charge of. And overall, I have to say this was a very wonderful experience as it gave us motivation to learn and do better, especially for Christian over here.
While also helping with the coding aspects, Giovanni De Paz and Anais shared that their role during the competition was networking and cultural exchange, interacting with students from different countries and sharing information about Belize.
We worked on core values along with my partner, Anais Cruz. So basically what we did for core values was we went around and we socialized. We talked to everyone that we could, and honestly, it was a really good experience. I'll let Anais tell you a little bit more about that.
So what we did is that we asked people, certain things about Belize, and most of them didn't really know where Belize was. So we gave them a little geographical lesson about Belize and taught them some of the national symbols and some of the important landmarks of Belize. So I'll give it back to Giovanni.
Overall, it was a really fun experience, and it was really great getting to meet all the people from different countries and learn about their cultures. And overall, we had a really great time.
One of the team's mentors, Michael Williams, says that while the experience was exceptional, there is a need for greater national support in the area of STEM education if more students are to benefit from opportunities like the first championship.
Well, the overall experience for us was very exceptional. As you guys heard, this is our third year competing. I was very excited when we won, and also being able to represent Belize and, on a finer point, the Caribbean on a whole in this competition. And so by just being there, we had a total of 160 teams, and Belize was the only representation for the Caribbean that was there. Yeah. With everything, there's always room for improvement, and then being on the world stage and seeing what other schools have, I'm not going to say we can't compete. We can definitely compete because we showed that just by representing the country and on the world stage. But yes, STEM is something that we saw is much needed in the school, and not just high school muffles alone, but the country as a whole. A lot of schools do take part in STEM, but I think it's something that we need to have a bigger backing to say this is something we're going to need to do going forward as well. One disadvantage we saw was that we are very, very limited in terms of the knowledge basis, where we start STEM at the high school level, and I think it's something we need to start at the primary school level so that we're not, that far held back, because being there, you even saw teams competing with students who are at the primary school level competing against our seniors. So I think it's something we need to start from the lower level coming up, so it's not a hindrance when we do get them to understand what is the idea of STEM.
As the Bobcats return home with new knowledge, friendships, and inspiration, the school says it remains committed to preparing students for the future while instilling values of teamwork, leadership, and service. Coming up next, the Muffles College High School robotics team We have more news after the break. Stay tuned.
My name is Dr. Rosita Jimenez, and I'm a general laparoscopic surgeon. We have just finished an emergency appendectomy, and we're now moving on to our second operating theater for our laparoscopic gallbladder staining. Basically, this is very easy to diagnose. Simple abdominal ultrasound or a pan-abdominal ultrasound can give us the diagnosis. Laparoscopic gallbladder removal surgeries, 90 to 80% of the time, are done due to gallstones. However, there are other conditions like tumors, malfunctioning of the gallbladder that also are reasons to get a laparoscopic surgery. We also have an amazing CT scan and X-ray unit who work hand in hand with our doctors. Instruments used in laparoscopic surgery are chokers like these. It makes it easy for us to do the surgery through these entry ports. The recovery process is excellent. And basically, within a week, you are back up, ready to do your job, your daily life activity, like if you hadn't had this surgery.
When speed matters, every second counts. Get ahead with ExpressNet. Fast, reliable, ready when you are.
From Belize to Mexico, the journey of football's greatest moments will unite nations. Mexico, the only country to host the World Cup 3 times, 1970, 1986, and now in 2026, you can be a part of the game with Centaur. We're sending you and a friend to experience the opening of the World Cup firsthand. 2 tickets, flights, 3-night stay, and daily cash. One incredible opportunity. How to enter? Sign up for one of our new Express Plus bundles. Remember, faster speeds mean more entries. Existing customers, keep your account at 0 balance or pay in advance to be eligible. Plus, engage with us on social media for even more chances to win. The 2026 World Cup in Mexico awaits. Don't just watch, be part of it and score big with Centaur.
The haters might think the Rebels have run out of steam, but the mighty Green Machine has more than enough to keep running this league. Your running Rebels focus on trampling the competition, and next up to get ran over are some Trojans. And there's nothing that can protect them because the Rebels are stronger than ever. Friday, May 8th is the date for another epic clash featuring the hometown heroes, the Pelican Orange Walk Running Rebels, and the Belmopan Trojans inside the Orange Walk Multi-Purpose Complex. Gates open at 7 p.m., tip-off at 9 p.m. Rebels Nation, let's remind this league just how powerful we are.
We are Rebel Nation, yeah. Orange Walk to the bone.
Sponsors are Pelican, Arm & Hammer, ASR, BSI, Verificadora La Popular, Premier Duty Free, Neo People, German Vega & Sons, Orange Walk Town Council, Capital Point Imports, SP Group Limited, Softtech Communications, Total Tools Belize, Racina's Imports, Atlantic Bank, ICB, Mechas, Old River Bar and Grill, Honorable John Briseño, Lebanon Riverside Retreat, Bats Landing, High Five Nightclub, Ridgeline, Caribbean Tire.
The government of Belize has announced the official launch of the Coastal Project, a $4 million initiative funded by the Adaptation Fund. This ambitious program aims to bolster climate resilience across 27 coastal communities in Belize over the next 4 years, impacting more than 117,000 residents in the districts of Corozal, Belize, Tan Creek, and Toledo. The project will focus on integrated land use planning, infrastructure safeguarding, and empowering local communities through capacity building efforts. Partnerships are a key element of this initiative, with collaboration with the National Climate Change Office, the National Hydrological Service, the National Meteorological Service, the Coastal Zone Management Authority and Institute, the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing, and the Dangriga Town Council. Their collective goal is to protect coastal ecosystems and infrastructure, securing a resilient future for Belize's vulnerable shoreline communities.
Where we are right now, this parcel of real estate, if you will, of patrimony from our ancestors to us, is very, very valuable. Right up to the end, if you look at the tongue pier on that side, right up is the multipurpose park that we're now constructing in partnership with DTIA, Minister Mala, of course, the government of Belize, and our town council. And there's another 10 or 12 acres going all the way to Pelican. Many of you would have gone to Pelican through town. And in a sense, that's where the town starts, and the beach continues all the way to the south of Dangriga, all the way to Commerce Bight Port. And over the years, we've seen the impact of climate change and the erosion of the beaches. Because right here in front, we have lost 200-300 feet of beach. If you fly over Dangriga, you will be able to see the magnitude of the erosion. Between the tongue pier and Pelican, you will see a big carve out, a big U. Where the stones are on the pier, that's where the sand used to be. You will see a big carve out right out to the point here by Social Security, by the Ministry of Education, and all the way to Commerce Bight. And of course that continues all over.
Funding for the project is facilitated through the Ministry of Economic Transformation, which acts as a designated authority, with the Protected Area Conservation Trust serving as the national implementing entity of the Adaptation Fund. The government of Belize has announced the successful completion of its 4th trade policy review at the World Trade Organization, WTO, headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland. This comprehensive assessment of Belize's trade policies underscores the nation's dedication to fostering transparency, openness, and stability in international commerce. During the review, WTO members acknowledged Belize's impressive resilience and steady economic rebound, highlighting the country's proactive measures in navigating recent climate and economic challenges. Despite the setbacks caused by COVID-19 and Hurricane Lisa, Belize demonstrated resilience by maintaining growth and advancing its development goals. The review praised Belize's commitment to reform, rooted in its National Trade Policy, NTP, which emphasizes gender inclusivity and aligns efforts in trade facilitation and energy investment to achieve a resilient, inclusive, and competitive economy. Members also commended Belize's strides towards modernizing its trade infrastructure, including the implementation of a trade and investment electronic single window system and reforms to streamline trade licensing procedures, both aimed at boosting efficiency and reducing cost. Furthermore, Belize's transition towards a digital economy and sustainable blue economy was highlighted. Initiatives such as the Blue Bond Program, partnership that have trained over 1,000 women in digital skills, and the Millennium Challenge Corporation Compact, designed to enhance energy, infrastructure, and educational systems, were particularly praised. Discussions among WTO members focus on improving compliance with notification requirements, lowering trade costs, and bolstering institutional capacity. Belize acknowledged delays in some technical reporting but committed to improving transparency and fulfilling its obligations. These efforts are expected to enhance investor confidence, lower business costs, and elevate Belize's competitiveness on the global stage. Moving forward, Belize plans to implement a targeted post-review work plan aimed at enhancing transparency, reducing trade barriers, and advancing its digital initiatives. The government also intends to leverage its renewed presence in Geneva to deepen engagement within the multilateral trading system and advocate for the interests of small and vulnerable economies. And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
From Belize to Mexico, the journey of football's greatest moments will unite nations. Mexico, the only country to host the World Cup 3 times, 1970, 1986, and now in 2026, you can be a part of the game with Centaur. We're sending you and a friend to experience the opening of the World Cup firsthand. 2 tickets, flights, 3-night stay, and daily cash. One incredible opportunity. How to enter? Sign up for one of our new Express Plus bundles. Remember, faster speeds mean more entries. Existing customers, keep your account at 0 balance or pay in advance to be eligible. Plus, engage with us on social media for even more chances to win. The 2026 World Cup in Mexico awaits. Don't just watch, be part of it and score big with Centaur.
From whiskeys and wines to elegantly crafted cocktails. Paired with charcuterie boards and perfectly seasoned steak bites, and much more. Perfect for celebrations, quiet nights, and every special occasion in between. 7 Notes Wine and Spirits, where every sip hits the right note.
When speed matters, every second counts. Get ahead with ExpressNet. Fast, reliable, ready when you are.
They got so much things to say right now. They got so much things to say.
The way some people are talking you'd never know, but the most blatant nepotism and fleecing of BTL took place under UDP when Dean Barrow was Prime Minister. Barrow placed his son Anwar on BTL's board in 2009 as soon as he nationalized the company, which would eventually cost Belizeans almost $650 million for shares barely worth $200 million. By 2014, Anwar was appointed executive chairman with extravagant salary and perks. Under him, BTL spent wildly on ventures that did not materialize and never brought any returns. Under the Barrows, BTL's profits plummeted from $38 million in 2009 to $17 million in 2019, and $10 million in 2020, as the company hardly paid dividends to government and people of Belize. Anwar Barrow has no moral authority to talk about BTL, as it was under his nepotistic rule, appointed by his father, that BTL was most blatantly fleeced.
They got so much things to say right now. They got so much things to say.
In a significant step towards shaping Belize's development trajectory, the Bresenio administration and the United Nations country team held their 7th Joint National Steering Committee meeting. The gathering was co-chaired by Her Excellency Amalia Mai, Chief Executive Officer at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, and Mr. Raul Salazar, United Nations Resident Coordinator for Belize and El Salvador. This esteemed platform facilitates strategic dialogue and coordination between the Belizean government and the United Nations, focusing on the implementation of the United Nations Multi-Country Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework, MSDCF 2022-2026. Additionally, the committee provides guidance for future cooperation cycles, specifically for 2027 to 2031. Attendees included chief executive officers, senior government officials, and heads of United Nations agencies, funds, and programs. The meeting served as a forum to review progress, share insights, and align priorities for the upcoming years. A key highlight of the session was the presentation of the 2025 United Nations Country Results Report, which detailed collective achievements under the current country implementation plan. Participants also reflected on lessons learned and identified areas requiring further focus as this cycle nears its conclusion. The government of Belize presented its national development priorities under Plan Belize 2.0, the medium-term development strategy covering 2026 to 2030, outlining the country's direction for future growth. This was complemented by updates on the United Nations Country Implementation Plan for 2026 and the development of the MSDCF 2027-2031. Discussion centered on enhancing the alignment of national priorities with United Nations support, strengthening coordination efforts, and exploring practical strategies to accelerate progress in key sectors. The meeting concluded on a note of shared commitment to fostering robust collaboration, clarifying priorities, and advancing joint efforts to achieve sustainable development outcomes for Belize. Through the project Strengthening the EMTCT Strategy with Maternal and Child Health Services, MCH, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, MOHW, received 10 all-in-one desktop computers and 1 video projector to strengthen maternal and child health services. Funded by the India-UN Development Partnership Fund through the United Nations Office of Her South Cooperation, UNOSSE, and implemented by the Pan American Health Organization, World Health Organization, the project supported efforts to advance progress towards eliminating mother-to-child transmission of HIV, syphilis, hepatitis B, and Chagas disease across the Caribbean. The donated equipment will directly support frontline health services by improving data management, strengthening surveillance, enhancing laboratory coordination, and helping healthcare providers deliver more efficient, timely, and integrated care for mothers and children. By strengthening these critical areas, progress can be sustained in countries like Belize, which have already achieved EMTCT validation, while helping other countries move closer to this milestone. The handover underscored the importance of partnership and a shared commitment to ending preventable transmission of diseases and securing a healthier future for all. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Friday, May 8th here on Ctv3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at Ctv3 News BZ. From all of us here at Ctv3, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.